Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet once again, and let's give an EMI welcome to Mark Chapman. Mark, come on up here.
Good morning. Thank you, please. Good morning. And to the rest of you, good morning as well. How are you? I'm thrilled to be here. What an exciting weekend. Hey, I've got some life-changing information for many of you today. I'm really thrilled to be here. A couple quick questions to start with to kind of see what direction to go in with you. If I could ask, how many of you are in the stock market right now? Stocks, mutual funds, retirement plans? Great. So how many of you are new to this? First-timers, never done this before? All right, well, good news for you. You got no bad habits yet, so we'll just make it nice and easy for you from the start. Now, I assume that we're all here this morning to make more money in the stock market, right? So good. I thought it might be a fun way to start by giving some of you a chance to win some money. Would you like that? Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, okay, here's what we'll do. 3 lottery tickets, 3 quick questions, 3 winners. Just shout out the answer if you know it. First question, what makes the price of a stock go up? Buyers. Who said it over here? Was that you, young lady? Very good. Buyers drive it up. Second question, what makes the price of a stock go down? Sellers. Oh, you got me. Okay. Third and final question. Someone define the word paradigm. What is a paradigm? A model. Where's my model guy? Come on up and meet me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Good. You betcha. Before I get into this, I'd like to just take a minute and tell you a little bit about who I am personally to be here sharing this with you today. I just turned 40 about 8 years ago. So, one of those. And you know, what's so frightening to me is it seems like the older I get, the faster time seems to accelerate away from me. Oh boy, I wish we could change that. Pretty sure we can't though. I mean, one of my career goals has always been, and still is, to be able to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time. How many of you would like to do that? Wise trade is my new paradigm, and I'm thrilled to show it to you today. And as we go through this morning, I would like you to compare this to any other approach you're presently using regarding your investment money in the stock market. My goal this morning is to give you enough information so that you can take the software home with you under no obligation and try it for a while and see what you think. All right, let me go back and re-ask the first question I initially talked about. What makes the price of a stock go up? Buyers, plain and simple. It is not the brand name of the company, it's not the stock split, it's not the PE ratio. Forget all that. Nothing happens to the price of a stock until investors start buying it. That's called supply and demand. So if buyers drive the price of stock up, what drives the price down? Sellers, sure. So I picked up 14 on that move. So between those 3, I'm up $52 a share on a stock I bought 18 months ago at 78. Is that good? Yeah, that's phenomenal. You learn how to do that with your money, and you can get anywhere you want to in this country at any time. And here's what I'd like to have you think about for a second. How many times did I actually own AutoZone to do that over 18 months? 4 times. I was in and out 4 times over 18 months. That's all we're talking about here. It's not rocket science. We had some folks come in after we started, so let's get them up to speed. Here's really all you've missed. Let's revisit step number 1 to buy a stock. Step number 1 is what? Excellent. The last 3 lights have got to all be green. Those are the 3 green wise men. This is my freight train of buying pressure. I was in Pittsburgh this last fall doing this workshop. There was a gentleman afterwards who was considering the software. He came up to me and he said, Mark, let me see if I've got this right. I buy a stock when my last 3 lights are green. Click on the chart, see a fresh cross with the lines heading up with space. I said, that's exactly right, sir, you've got it. He said, now when will you sell? I said, I'll sell when the long-term light turns red. He said, how do you know when that turns red? I check it. That's why they pay me the big bucks. I can answer all the difficult questions. He said, how often do you check your stocks, Mark? I said, I check them once a day. He said, you mean to tell me that you check your stocks every day? I said, of course I do, sir. Do you mean to tell me you don't? He said, no. I said, sir, how often do you check your stocks? He said, you know when my account statement comes in the mail from our brokerage company. I said, that's once a month. He said, yeah, but if it was a bad month, I don't even open the envelope because I just get all depressed. So I said, okay, you're using this old time-tested see no evil approach to managing your money. So I tried to think of something to relate to with this guy. So I asked him if he was a sports fan. He said, oh, I'm a huge sports fan. In fact, a friend of mine went in together here and we shared season tickets. I said, all right, after your sports teams play, when do you check the box scores? He said, oh, first thing the next morning in the newspaper. I said, all right, on any given day, you know exactly how your sports teams are doing, but you have no idea what's going on with your own investment money? And he said, gosh, Mark, when you say it like that, it sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? I said, well, you know, it's just about having the right priorities. If you all miss everything else I say here today, please don't miss this. When you go home and load a stock or a mutual fund that you own right now into WiseTrade, and you notice the long-term light here is red, what are you going to do? Watch it for 3 or 4 more weeks to make sure it's really red? It's red. What are you going to do? Dump it. You're not married to it. It's a stock. You can give it back. How many of you have ever lost money on a stock or mutual fund? I'll lead that parade. How many of you would like to avoid doing that again in the future? Oh, now you can. Now you can. The technology is here. But you have to get started. You have to learn how to do this. As Mark Victor says, you can't stay on the same path and expect different results. That's ridiculous. So here's what you do. You develop a new habit in your life. You check your stocks once a day. So with WiseTrade, you should have been in and out of this mutual fund over 2 years 4 times versus buy and hold, and you would have been up. How much was that, Paul?
A lot.
All right. Now listen, I could stay up here and do this with you all morning and look at stocks. I absolutely love to do this, but we have a lot more to cover. And I know that some of you brought stocks and mutual funds. You know, here's the deal. You'll be able to do this yourself. You can take this home under no obligations, test drive it for the next couple of weeks, take your time at home, and then make a logical decision. Let me ask you a question. Do you think this is worth learning how to do? Yes or yes? You bet. And let me say this, if some of you are just getting started in this wealth building thing, maybe all you have is $500 or $1,000 to start with, you're going to be looking at lower price stocks than someone who has 100,000 or many millions. There are thousands of stocks out there priced between 10 cents a share and $1.50 a share that you can income trade every day. I was at home recently, in between a couple of these trips I make. It was a Friday morning. I'm sitting on my back patio with my laptop and a glass of orange juice, and the young guy who takes care of our pool every week comes around back. He starts to tend to the pool. All of a sudden he says, Mr. Chapman, I've been meaning to ask you what you do. You seem to be here every week when I come by, sitting out by the pool with your laptop. He said, I hope you don't mind me asking. I said, I don't mind you asking at all. I'm doing some trading, you know, the stock market. So he kind of saunters over to where I'm sitting, looks over my shoulder at the screen here and says, oh, hey, is this that thing I've seen on TV and in the newspaper? I said, I don't know, this is WiseTrade. He said, yeah, that's it. He said, I've been meaning to go to one of those workshops to see how it works. I said, well, I actually give those workshops sometimes when you don't see me here. You should come. It's pretty low key. We look at some stocks. He said, I'd like to, but my problem is time. He said, I work for the pool company full time, and I'm also a full-time student. I don't know how I could squeeze it in. So I looked around, I said, I don't see your boss here right now. Why don't you pull up a chair? So I sit this young guy down, and I start showing him how all this stuff goes. I'm talking about long-term and mutual funds and short-term trading for income. All of a sudden, I get a buy sign on AirTran. Jump into my brokerage account online, picked up 1,000 shares. They're moving up for me real nice. I'm in that trade maybe 8 or 9 minutes. My lights go red. Close out on that trade online with my broker. After commission, I made, I don't remember the exact amount. It was at least a few $100. So I turned to this young guy and I said, what do you think? He said, I think you just made more sitting here by your pool in 10 minutes than I make all week. And my response to him was, then start doing what I'm doing. And I tried to tell this young guy that when it comes to success in life, making money, building wealth, it's just up to you. I said to him, do you realize that in this country, it is your choice to do what you do every day? I said, why in the world would you put you and your family's financial well-being under someone else's control, either in terms of a job you may not love or with your own investment money? I told him, I said, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. We have no one to thank or blame for our financial situation in life but ourselves. I just think people always need to be willing to learn more and get more knowledge to be as successful as you're meant to be in life. I think every one of you in here can and should learn how to do this short-term trading to generate a quick additional source of income. Would you agree? And you know, one of the questions I get asked a lot, people will say, if this is so great, why do you come out and speak and travel and speak at these workshops and events like this? Why not stay home and trade all day? Fair question. But if you think about it, we all have different personalities, right? For some people, the idea of being alone at home with your computer, that may be your idea of absolute heaven. Not exactly mine. I'm a people person. I only do this for short spells at a time. Can only take so much of it. I do these presentations, demonstrations around the world actually now, about 10 days a month on average. So I have plenty of time to do my trading at home in between what I do here in my travels. Plus, when I come out and do these workshops, the company actually throws some money at me, which is nice. I have 2 very expensive teenagers, and traveling for free is always very fun for me. Now, having said that, if there was something else out there that I could find where I could make more money in less time, I would already be doing it. This is the best thing I've ever found. I absolutely adore this software. Anyway, some of you in here are going to be like me. Your primary focus here is going to be long-term because it'll take you 5 minutes a day. Others of you may be more like Mark McDonald from Fidelity. You might say, you know what, I think I'd rather be doing this for work and income than what I'm doing now. Some of you may end up managing money for other people that you know in the future using this. And then others of you, the only thing you care about doing is a better job with your own retirement fund, which is fine. The great thing about WiseTrade is that it doesn't obligate you to do anything. If you want to do it 5 minutes a day, great. 2 hours a day, great. Pick and choose based on your own lifestyle, your interests, and your goals. So when you get the software to test, try doing both and see which style fits you better. The software itself comes in these boxes, and let me apologize in advance if we don't have enough of these for all of you here. The last time we did one of Bob's events, we way ran out. So if you're not able to get one here today, it's going to be sent right out to you. But there's a couple things I'd like to point out as you get your box. The first is this little yellow sticky. This is a to-do list from George Thompson, all very simple and self-explanatory to start. George's whole promise here is this. He never wants any of us as users to feel like we're just hanging out there on our own. And let me ask you, what's in it for the company in taking such good care of their existing clients? What do they get out of that? Sure. Listen, I'm here with you this morning as a result of word-of-mouth advertising. I told you at the very start, I'm here because a friend introduced me to WiseTrade. This friend I actually met when he had a daughter who was 9 years old in the softball team I coach, which is one of the things that, in fact, my wife and I right now are together involved in 3 charitable organizations here in Florida where we live because really, for the first time in my life, I have a nice block of quality time thanks to WiseTrade. And how many of you, well, really understand the power of giving back, of tithing? Is it not a wonderful thing? You give back, and the universe is going to give you back even more. Anyway, this is one of my favorite activities. For years now, I've coached my daughter's 9 and 10-year-old girls' fast-pitch softball team. Love every minute of it. My friend had a daughter on this team back when she was 9 years old. I will never forget. Her name is Ashley, and we all called her Miss Ashley that season. Now, there were 2 things that myself and my other coaches that season could count on about Miss Ashley during games. Number 1, every time that season that she came to the plate, the bat never once left her shoulder. That girl did not swing at one pitch all year. She either walked or struck out. It was up to the pitcher. We knew that. And the second thing we could never get her to do is slide. She was afraid to slide. Wouldn't slide, wouldn't swing. Anyway, long story short, here we are in the last game of the season. It's the championship game. It's the bottom of the last inning. Score is tied. We're up to bat. 2 outs, nobody on base. I'm standing in the dugout. Who do you think I see dragging her bat up to the plate to bat right now but Miss Ashley? And I'm thinking, man, Murphy found me in the dugout, right? How many of you have coached or are coaches? We got coaches? Great. Now, as a coach, my first instinct at that moment, I'm dropping on one knee in the dugout, and I'm asking, please, please, send us 4 balls before 3 strikes. Just this once. I was very specific. I knew what we needed. Anyway, the pitcher winds up and throws that first pitch to Ashley. That pitch bounces in the dirt about 5 feet in front of home plate. Now, apparently, this is the pitch she's been waiting for all year. Oh, no. I couldn't believe it. She manages to hit it. She hits a weak little ground ball out between third base and pitcher's mound. The pitcher fields the ball, throws it over the glove of the girl playing first base. Now the ball is rolling to the fence, right? We're sending Ashley to second. Go, 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 go. My third base coach is yelling out to her, slide, Ashley, slide. Did she slide? No, never. The girl at first gets the ball, throws it to the girl at second to tag her out. The ball gets between her legs. Now it's rolling out in left field. Now, coaches, you know how we make split-second decisions during games, right? I'm sizing up this left fielder. I'm telling you, her arms are about this thin. I'm thinking, what are the chances this girl can throw the ball home and get Ashley out? So we're sending her around to win a championship game. Go, 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 go. Teammates are screaming in the dugout. I glance back into the stands at her parents. They're flopping all over each other. The mother's a nervous wreck, going berserk. Can't even watch the play. Ashley is running as fast as she can. Folks, I am here to tell you, that little left fielder fielded that ball like a pro. And that skinny little girl had a bazooka for an arm. That girl put that throw on a rope. She threw a strike cone to the catcher. The catcher caught it in her mitt on one bounce, turned around to tag Miss Ashley, and for the first time, she decided to slide under the tag, won the game. It's a miracle. Miracle. Thank you. A moment I will never forget. Miss Ashley is the one in the picture just above the word minor in the hat with the broad smile. It took about a month to wipe that smile off her face. Hero of the championship game. A moment I will never forget. I hope it's one she never forgets either. And you know, we've been talking about new paradigms all morning. That experience back then certainly was a new paradigm for Ashley, wasn't it? So many things in her life changed in that moment. And looking back on that, what did it take for her to do that? She had the courage to take a step outside her comfort zone. She had the courage to try something new. She is now in her senior year in high school. Beautiful young lady, college bound. She has been the starting varsity shortstop the last 2 seasons. Who the heck would have thought when she was 9? It's about a new paradigm. And you know, since I've been out demonstrating Wise Trade to people, I noticed the same kind of things happen here. For those of you who have the courage to take a step outside your comfort zone, who have the courage to try something new and learn this, financially, your lives won't be the same. You'll be living in a new financial paradigm. Wise Trade is the way to get wealthier faster. That's what it's all about. This becomes part of your personal reference library at home. By the time you get done the training classes and the DVD series, I would dare say that most of you in here are going to know more about just making money in the stock market than probably most stockbrokers I've known down through the years. When I first got Wise Trade, I figured, what the heck, I'll give it a try. It is now the only thing I use to make my investment decisions. So, that's Wise Trade. They sell the software there as a standalone tool for the $39.95. They charge $9.95 for the one-day training class and $12.95 for the advanced DVD series. They charge that and they get it because people who understand the software, it's not about what it costs, it's about what it does long term. Remember, their target market is basically professional traders. Just one stock or a mutual fund that you find to buy or sell, the software can be paid for. Now, here at Bob's event, we do it a little bit differently because we do have some economies of scale with a group. Like, well, have any of you been to a Sam's Club or Costco? BJ is one of those. You know, sometimes they're a pain because you have to fight through a crowd of people, but the good thing is you can often find something in there for 10 bucks you saw somewhere else down the street for 25, so it's kind of worth the hassle. Same thing here at this event. Now a question. If the software does what I've shown you it can do here this morning, is it worth the money? Yes or no? My advice for what it's worth, and anyone who has known me for a long time will tell you flat out, I'm a bottom line person when it comes to logic. You have 2 choices here. Number 1, let somebody else have control of your wealth, or learn how to take care of it yourself. And I don't want any of you to feel like you're making a snap final decision here. That is not what we're doing. I would suggest that you further investigate this. And the best way for you to really know if this is going to be right for you is to what? Sure, try it. So, like the good book says, judge the tree by the fruit it bears. If you love it, keep it. If you don't, we'll take it back. At least you gave yourself that chance. So for those of you who are ready to try this software, now is the time. Please stand up. Thank you for that. Head on back there and pick up your software. You're about to flat out fall in love with this. Give it a try. Thank you.